Member for North West.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Like I said, my question is to the Minister for Regional Development. Minister, it's my pleasure to welcome you to Gascoyne Junction in my electorate on Saturday. Can you please explain to the House how Royalties for Regions has helped the town to recover from the catastrophic floods that occurred in 2010?
Right, Leader of the National Party.
Mr Speaker, the small community of Gascoyne Junction might not rate in many cases as being a significant landmark on a map, Mr Speaker, but for the 90 people that live in Gascoyne Junction itself and the 250 or so that live in the Shire of Upper Gascoyne, it's a really important community and piece of infrastructure for them, supporting not only the handful of people that live there but also the broader community that sits around it. In many ways it's quite isolated, but it is also the entry point for the Kennedy Ranges. It's also the entry point for Mount Augustus, and of course it has some tourism significance in terms of a gateway to that part of Western Australia. So, Mr Speaker, to have what happened in December 2010 with the floods that impacted Carnarvon, the floods that impacted a lot of the catchment in the lower Gascoyne there, to see what happens to Gascoyne Junction, where it basically wiped out the service station, it wiped out the iconic Junction Hotel, it wiped out the caravan park, and it wiped out some other pieces of tourism infrastructure, Mr Speaker. You can imagine what it set back, what it did to set back a small community like that. Mr Speaker, to go up there on Saturday and to now formally open the tourism precinct, which is some $9 million worth, with $8 million from Royalties to Regions, driven by the spirit of that community to replace a major service station there, 24-hour service station, a general store, a little caravan park facility there to cater for people that move through that community to get to some of the local tourism assets. To see the faces on those people when we were able to open that facility, Mr Speaker, it was outstanding. There were some people there that travelled as far as 2.5 hours away to be there for the celebrations that night, and they are still in that shire. So sometimes we can forget or make light of the fact that these are small communities, they're isolated and therefore they're not important. Mr Speaker, they are important. They are important to this government, and I think coming in behind the terrible devastation that happened from that flood in 2010 to now have an outstanding facility which they are proud of, which they've driven, which they've supported, and this government has been able to put resource to be able to have it at such a standard as they are very proud of, Mr Speaker, was fantastic. Great to have the member for Central North West there as well, the Minister for Water, along with the Honourable Jackie Boydell.
Member for Albany.
I'm sorry, member? So, Mr Speaker, that night...
Sorry, just sit down. Member for North West. Call you to order for the first time. Minister.
Mr Speaker, that night they had celebrations and a local band there, and whilst I couldn't make it, I'm sure it would have been an outstanding evening. They're a very, very proud community. They have got high spirit, and now we've been able to support them in their drive to have that facility replaced. I thank the Shire of Upper Gascoyne, Mr Speaker. I thank the Gascoyne Development Commission, and I thank all those people that have been proactive in ensuring that this outcome is an outcome to be remembered, Mr Speaker.
Further questions?